First of all, thanks for coming. Welcome to the Anderson Police Department. First and foremost, I want to thank the many citizens of Anderson. Many contributed to this investigation. Inasmuch we've had an outpouring amount of community support and assistance, which directly helped us solve this matter or bring it to justice. If it was not for the collaborative efforts of the community outreach, this wouldn't be possible. So as Chief, I want to personally thank all those citizens who were involved with your prayers, your messages, your involvement, and your thoughts. Every day, a day goes by that some concerned citizens will approach me and ask about the case. They're not involved, but they have a commitment there to see what's going on in our community. And I can tell in their speech, this case has really touched their hearts. Very compassionate words as they speak. On or about July 16th, the Anderson Police Department was involved in this heinous crime involving a 93-year-old woman, Amelia Rudolph. She experienced a horrific and unimaginable event. This event was undoubtedly changed her life and for her family and friends and her loved ones. I'm proud to say that the Anderson Police Department, because of their true devotion and diligent efforts, was able to make an arrest in this case. It is our desire to bring some form of closure and reassurance to Amelia that the Anderson Police Department is committed in service and to bring this matter to justice. Recently, I met with Amelia in my office after the event. We shared some personal information and even spoke about the case. She was visibly concerned and upset about the case and about all the legal procedures. I assured her at this time that we were on her case and we would bring this to justice in this life or the next. I want to personally thank all the members of the Anderson Police Department for their unselfishness and devotion to duty. I'd like to share something that I put around it's from the Dr. Martin Luther King. Human progress is neither automatic or inevitable. Every step toward the goal of justice requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle, and the tireless exertions and passionate concern of dedicated individuals. As many of you know, we made an arrest today. It was a formal charge information was presented to the Madison County Prosecutor's Office. Inasmuch, a 17-year-old individual was arrested and charged in the adult court for several charging information: rape, burglary, criminal confinement, and strangulation. Any questions at this time?
Chief, well, what led you to this individual?
This was definitely a whodunit initial case. There were some limiting factors involved. We didn't have a whole lot to go on. So we saturated the area, an area canvas. Through that process of diligent work and the community outreach of helping us, identifying potential people of character and who was in the neighborhood, just good old-fashioned police work. And during that time, we furnished of DNA specimens and samples.
Is there reason to believe that this individual targeted the victim? He knew that you lived there. I understand that he lives not far from there.
We don't have that information to date. I can't confirm or deny if she was an actual target. You are correct that he lived nearby.
Was he aware of the victim? Did they know each other? Was there any connection at all between these two people?
We've not drawn a connection from that as of yet.
What has he said?
We didn't obtain much information from him on Saturday on a cleanup statement. He was brought into the police department for a secondary statement. Of course, initially he denied. The follow-up question on Saturday revealed no information for the case.
So his DNA was found on Ms. Rudolph?
Because it's a still active pending investigation, I can't answer that this time.
But you're certain it is the 17-year-old?
We collected DNA from several donors. Those donors were then submitted to the state police department for comparison and a DNA analysis. And that's what precipitated the arrest, yes.
Chief, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been in law enforcement?
19 years.
You've seen a lot of things.
Yes, I have, sir.
In 19 years, where does this rank as far as disturbing, heinous, unsettling crimes?
Well, I don't want to share too much about an investigation I worked years ago. The lady that was, I had to exhume her body for a very similar case. She had passed on. So I worked a very heinous case in that nature, which is very much symbolic of this case itself. This is one of the concerns of the community and the police department. When you have people in their homes that feel they're in their homes and they're safe, and then something like this happens.
One of the worst you've seen?
Yes. Yes.
You heard about it. What was the first thing you said to yourself? I imagine this wasn't handled at a patrolman level. You got a telephone call pretty quickly.
Yes, I was. At that point in time, it was just full investigative rights. Let's do what we know to do. Area canvas, start doing interviews, doing intelligence, doing forensic findings, and doing it the right way. And that's our goal.
Should people who live in that neighborhood feel comfortable that they are safe in their homes, given the fact that this 17-year-old is off the streets?
I would hope so. But by their efforts and their help and assistance in this, I got calls every day trying to identify and very thankful citizens saying we see people in the neighborhood. We've seen saturation of police officers, uniformed and non-uniformed. We were working that tirelessly in those efforts, night and day, from the patrol level to investigators. I hope they feel safe today. I hope they feel reassured. Good police work.
How tough of, or how big of a problem have you had with this teen and his family? Or has law enforcement had? Neighbors seem to think he's no stranger to Anderson police.
I can't answer that question this time.
I understand that Teresa Hale, the victim's daughter, wanted to talk to us. Teresa, if you could go to the microphone there.
Oh.
How thankful are you that the police were able to make an arrest in this case? And do you feel comfortable about where your mother is now?
I definitely feel comfortable about where my mother is now. Our main focus was for her to overcome this. And we're a strong family, we're a big family, and we have each other's backs, and she is doing wonderfully under the circumstances. And I do want to say this, she's just courageous, she's brave, she's strong, and she is our hero. She really is our hero. And I think the fact that the Anderson Police Department caught this criminal, she's just a hero that she has overcome this, and the fact that they caught that criminal, he will be off the streets now, hopefully forever, and that it's one less criminal that Anderson and the world will not have to worry about because of her surviving that and just enduring that. Unfortunately, she's the one that had to endure it, but because of that, this person is off the streets now. And hopefully he won't be able to hurt anyone else.
When you heard about this crime, when you got word about this crime, what were your thoughts?
Disgust. You can't even imagine the disgust. My brother called me, and my husband was on the other line. It was just disgust and disbelief. I thought he was calling me to tell me, Teresa, Mom had a heart attack, Mom died. I would have expected that, not this. This is nothing I could have expected in a million years. And I rushed down there to be with her, and our entire family has just been with her, getting her through this. I mean, we have a very loving family, a very faithful family, and, you know, we won't accept anything less but her having a full recovery from this.
If you could say one thing to the person responsible and his family, what would you say?
You know, yeah, may God help him. I mean, Judgment Day will come for him. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the case. That's in the hands of the prosecutor now. I just know in my heart that when if he lives a life in prison, I just hope it will be terrifying for him. I can't help but say that, and I know when his judgment day comes, I want him to be terrified when the devil comes to take him.
Now that this guy is behind bars, I mean, do you feel safer in the neighborhood? Is there still a fear?
You know, I don't live in that neighborhood, and I know the neighborhood's not the neighborhood it was, 50 years ago when I lived there. However, I'm so thankful for the Anderson Police Department, how they have just worked tirelessly around the clock. I really cannot praise them enough. As far as feeling safe, I think the community should feel as safe knowing that the Anderson Police Department has their backs. I mean, I personally don't know if the neighborhood's safe or not safe, but I think knowing that the Anderson Police Department is there, I would feel confident in living there. I mean, whether I want my mother to live there remains to be seen, but...
Do you mind if we hear from Mr. Bell?
do you want to say something, Mother? It's up to you.
She can stay
Okay. Can I sit down now?
Yeah.
I'll hold.
It's okay.
Well, I don't know whether I
Just
just,
a question.
Just wait, just relax, just relax, and we'll just have a conversation with you.
well, I don't know whether I could beat what she said. but I feel the same way, what she said. And if it wasn't for the police department, I don't know what I ought to have done. But when they first come in, they said that they was going to take care of this, and they were going to get the guy that did this. And I couldn't believe that it was this soon. I didn't think I would live long enough to see who did it. But I'm happy it turned out the way it is right now.
What do you have to say?
And that's about it. And that I credit the police department for that.
What do you think about this person who did this to you?
Well, I was just kind of wondering how he was brought up. If he was brought up whether his parents didn't teach him to do right. You know what I mean? But that's about all I could say, and I just hope that I don't know whether I just don't know what to say about him. I mean, it's up to the police department, whatever they do.
And the prosecutor. And the prosecutor.
Yeah, and the prosecutor.
Will you feel comfortable at home now?
Well, I would feel comfortable. I would like to go back because it's the house that my husband built for me and my family, and I've been happy there all my life until just now. And I feel like I don't know whether I could trust it even to sit there and do things, go back over there. But I don't know, I guess they keep telling me to take my time and think about it. And maybe in time I might be, but then I don't know for sure.
How do you feel now? How do you feel?
Oh, I feel happy. I feel happy that they took that fella that, that this happened, and I'm glad that they found him, and that's about it.
Where do you get your strength from? You are so strong. Your daughter called you her hero. How are you so strong?
Well, I
She
get my
said, where, she
hearing
said,
aid.
where do you get your strength from? I called you a hero. Where do you get your strength from?
My family, because they've all been just wonderful. I can't, every one of them, I just love them to pieces. And they're my family, and they helped me through this. And that's the reason I'm just happy, and they've been doing everything to me. My son, my whole family.
You've met the Colts.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I even got to see the Colts and
Little Andy Luck, right?
and Andrew Luck and a lot of the others, and I'm going to go to another game in September, and I'm looking forward to that. And I told Andrew Luck, I said he'd better win every game, and so far he has.
So you're a big Colts fan.
Uh-huh, yeah. And that's about it, and I'm looking forward to that, and living a life with a little bit safer now maybe than it was.
And creating some good memories, right?
What?
Creating some good memories.
Yes.
Creating new fun memories.
Yes.
There's many more to be
They
had.
have to help me because I'm not used to this.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Where has Millie been staying?
She's staying with family. You all can see why we love her, right? She's an awesome lady. She's an angel. Medal on her golden heart. Why somebody would want to put hers there.
They said I was an angel, but I don't know about that.
And we all want to be just like her. And we are.
Except for Carol. So, excuse me.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah, Chief Mitchell, this kid that was arrested, was he in school currently? Was he an Anderson High School student? Can you confirm that?
He was in the system here at Sweet Community Schools, yes. As far as actually attendance,
He's already been waived over to adult court.
yes.
That's an automatic waiver, shouldn't have happened at 1 o'clock. There was a probable cause hearing at 1 o'clock, so I haven't been back to the office since then, but my assumption is he will have been charged as an adult at 1 o'clock today.
Any questions for the prosecutor?
And was there any reason to believe there was any gang affiliation?
We have no information at that time, no.
Oh, here it is. Excuse me, guys. Figured you guys were all done.
One of the things I'd like to say real quick, too, is we've had these questions kind of tendered toward being safe in home. And this is definitely a reminder about some precautionaries or safety tips that the police department have been trying to work on for years as far as home safety, be it lightings, locks, shrubbery. Our goal, our intent is everybody be safe in their own home, but there are exceptions. And this impact of this family, as you can tell, if you talk to one, you got to talk to all of them. It's been a very good family unit. And they author some good questions. They really have been very humble through this process. It's not uncommon to come in here and to be really aggressive toward and and say things out of the emotional, I want this, they have been very compassionate, and that's one thing I've recognized from the entire family, of just how good people they are and how their hearts are. This is a very, very traumatic thing that's happened in this family. But as you can tell, they've got a good bond, a good glue. I tried to, with Amelia, she came in the office and she made a comment, and I'll never forget it, that she was worried about passing on, about when this would go to court and such. And I assured her at that time, I said, we will get justice in this lifetime or your next. And I think that comforted her a little bit. I told you in my office, when you were trying to run me out of my office, that we would, no.
I did. You found it, because I didn't think I'd live long enough.
You did.
To
And
see what that happened.
yes.
I told them, they said they'd see me in heaven someday, maybe they would tell me.
This is added information too about if you do have elderly loved ones to learn from things that happen in society every day. Just a reminder that if you do have grandparents or parents that living alone, that some of these safety factors, these safety tips are also implemented.